Closed,
The Earth
isolated.
is
What would you say?
it's an open.
I don't think
It's
entropy.
an open system next to a vacuum.
Some
Interesting.
context that it could be
No,
closed.
no, it's an open system next to gas pressure.
You mean the gas pressure is next to a vacuum openly? Is that what you mean to
No,
say?
the gas pressure is next to gas pressure. 10 to the negative 17 joule is gas pressure.
The gas pressure is next to a gas pressure. That's a good one.
Well, that's the claim of the globe model. So
No, the gas
the,
pressure is next to a vacuum is the claim, sir. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
That's y'all's claim.
Yeah, but the vacuum is 10 to the negative 17 joule in outer space. That is pressure.
That
What's
is
the
pressure.
PSI of that?
The vacuum is
Yeah.
created. Yeah, you create a vacuum.
Anything over zero is pressure. And there's no claim of
Really?
no claim of no pressure anywhere.
Okay, so then you should be willing to and should be easily demonstratable, right? You can easily
Sure, you
show
can
like a
gain
low
altitude and-
pressure going to a high pressure, right? You can easily show that?
Yeah, you can just gain elevation, and you have lower and lower and lower pressure the higher you go.
Right, and now put that next to a vacuum. See what happens.
What do you mean with a vacuum? Low pressure
You know exactly
or low
what I
pressure?
mean.
Before the vacuum, it's no longer
You know-
a vacuum, is it?
No, I don't know what you mean, because our claim is that there is 10 to the negative 17 joule of pressure. So I don't know what you mean with vacuum.
And
Oh,
that's
this
right
is
next
a
to
new
10
one now. This is a new one, guys.
Oh, it's not a
They
new
come
one.
up with new ones every day.
We've always
No,
said
it's not a new one.
So
No,
it's
the
not
gas
a
pressure
vacuum
is
anymore.
zero pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah, the gas
No.
pressure on Earth, it pushes down and creates a vacuum constantly going, up, up, up. All right, so where does the vacuum? It's creating a vacuum.
What?
What's creating a vacuum?
When it goes,
What are
I
you
swear you guys don't know your own model, man.
No, dude.
We
the
do.
10 to the negative
You can
17
Google it. I mean, you make no sense. 10 to the negative 17 joule. Have you heard that number?
Oh, no. What is that? I've never heard that before.
What? You haven't? Okay. Well, that's the pressure that is claimed to be in outer space.
Well,
In
yeah,
the model.
0.20 more zeros to PSI, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
PSI,
17.
pounds per square inch, pressure.
16 zeros. But
Still pressure.
yeah. And it's right next
Only
to 10,
16 zeros.
right next to 10 to the negative 16 torque. So it's not next
so
to.
I mean, what I'm asking, you're saying then that everything is a vacuum, even the pressure, because that's how it gradiates, and no,
He's not saying everything is a vacuum.
That's what they're saying. Exactly. Yeah.
No, that's not what we're saying.
He's saying the
We don't
opposite
say
of
it's
that.
14.7 psi vacuum here. We don't say
So
that.
there's no such. Then describe a vacuum. What does a vacuum do?
That's what I asked from SE, and he couldn't give an answer.
Just a regular old vacuum in the house. What does it
A
do?
low pressure. Low
It's got
pressure would be
one
vacuum.
psi difference.
Right, so it creates a vacuum. You're saying the same thing without using the word vacuum.
Sure,
Of course, they
still
can't
pressure.
use that word
It's
because they
still
know
pressure.
where I'm going next. They're going to be destroyed.
No, because it's still pressure. I don't know how you destroy us.
So the vacuum of space is a myth now. That's not real.
Yeah, this
the
is a new
vacuum of
one.
space
Today
is
from
low
Mailman.
pressure.
Yep.
It's
You know,
one way of saying void space.
No, but a vacuum cleaner.
What does void mean?
A vacuum
I
cleaner.
mean, this is
lacking
fascinating. Can
matter.
someone slide?
Lacking matter.
Oh, sure.
Hold on, guys. Because vacuum cleaner's got two pressures, next to each other, and it just has a difference of one, and it creates a vacuum cleaner. But neither of those are both just two pressures. It's just like 14 psi, and then I think inside is like 13 psi, or just one. It's one psi less. So they're
So you're
both.
saying
They're
just
both
zero?
What Moman's saying is they're both pressures, though.
Call them
And
whatever
now
you
you're
want. Is there a significant difference between Earth and 10 to the minus 17 torr? Is there a significant, huge difference between that? Yes or no?
Almost 2 bar.
Yes. Huge.
Less than the difference between the car tires.
There's way less material up there.
It's the difference
Sure.
in a half flat tire and a full tire.
Yeah.
It's not
Wow.
much.
That tells me, Left Lane, you have absolutely no clue, sir. Sorry, but that's the truth.
What?
That's the difference, though. You can poison the well, but it's the difference. You go from
Is that why they have a
you go
million
from
pound
less
door? Is that why they
No,
have a
you-
1,000,000-pound door at that fancy pressure
Oh.
chamber there?
That's
Is that why?
primarily
half
Because it's
infinity
only like
door.
a tire.
due to radiation.
Why don't they do it in rubber, in a tire? Why don't they do the
Yeah.
experiment
do
there?
it.
Yeah, but that's primarily to do with radiation because they do something to do
No,
with
no,
radiation.
that's
No,
not
that's
true.
the
They've
No,
never
concrete.
he's
taken
Sorry,
making
it to
shit
a
sorry.
up.
That's the
What are you
radioactive.
doing?
concrete around it. That's
They
the
have never.
concrete.
That's
Just ask
bullshit.
questions
They've
then.
never
Don't
used that
talk
for
shit.
all
Just
this.
ask a question.
Yeah,
What
so that's,
pushes air into the chamber? Never mind.
yeah, but the PSI, 14 PSI, right? 14 pounds per square inch, right? That becomes significant when there's many square inches. So if you have a big vacuum chamber, the amount of the amount of restraint that you're going to need to keep the pressure of the atmosphere out becomes larger.
Yeah. Like if you took that vacuum chamber and brought it into outer space, the walls could be paper thin.
Only in your mind, sir. Only
No.
in your mind.
You would need walls then.
I mean,
So that's
the
why they
vacuum
made
tubes
You
that
would.
you,
the lunar lander out of tinfoil. I understand now. It all
the
makes sense.
vacuum tubes that you have in a vacuum tube amplifier have 8 times 10 to the negative 8 torr pressure, and it's glass, thin glass.
Damn.
You're delusional,
what
bro.
chamber is
You
this?
are absolutely delusional when it comes to vacuum. Like you're so
Oh,
far
it's
off.
just facts. I mean, it's
Like the order of magnitude that you're off is astronomical.
Wow. Hey, remember in
wow.
math?
How are we wrong?
You know in math that you learned what a quotient was, a quotient or a what is that? The other one.
Mm.
But yeah, so your quotient is like is a divisor. So if someone says, "What's the quotient of those two numbers?" It's a divisor. And if someone says, "What's the difference of those two?" Like, what's the pressure difference? What's the difference? That's a subtraction problem. So it's not orders of magnitude or anything like that. It's just simple subtraction.
Only in your brain, Kosho. Only in your brain does pressure work like that. Like you guys are so far off. I don't even feel like talking to you. Like seriously, there's no common ground here.
Well, explain to us how it works then. Teach me something.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
If you don't understand pressure, if you don't understand how seals work, I mean, it'll take me all day, and
I worked in.
there's no use.
Yeah, some of us
know.
worked in hydraulics for a little bit too. We do understand pressure in seals. Yeah.
I work with seals.
On the surface and way up in space, we can.
It's O-rings that protect the ISS.
And I don't know what the problem is with we observe the pressure going down. So I mean, there's lower pressure above, but there's no lower pressure horizontally, so you can't produce in the ground level the low pressure next to high pressure.
Is high
It has
pressure to
to be
low
nine.
pressure a vacuum? Like period, amen. Is that a vacuum to you?
I mean, sure. I mean, if it's
All right.
much lower pressure, then you can call it a vacuum.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you mean in your vacuum cleaner? Do you have a zero pressure area, or is there a pressure difference?
Pressure differential.
There's a difference. That's why it's sucking the air into it.
Oh, the
Sure.
air's being
And
pushed
there's a
away.
difference between us and the top of Mount Everest, but the air isn't rushing there, so something's holding it here.
Oh, wait,
Funny
is this
that.
where you try telling me gravity's a force, but then say it's not an actual force, but an
Water
illusion of
water
No,
boils in
I didn't
physics.
mention
No,
gravity
on
once.
Mount Everest. Water boils at a different temperature.
You're confused. Yeah, you're confusing Anthony Riley physics
mine.
with reality.
If you take shit.
Go
Never
ahead,
mind.
Bruno.
Well, I was just gonna say if you take something close to vacuum and bring it out into space, and you open it up, nothing happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was saying when you said you need thin walls up there. But I was like, yeah, if you took a vacuum chamber to space, you wouldn't need any walls. But what was I gonna say about that? Fuck.
Sorry.
No, you're good, man. What did the guy say right before you though?
I don't know. I said that there's low pressure on top of Mount Everest and high pressure here, but you can't have it like next to each other.
Oh, right, yeah. So I was gonna say because you guys started talking about gravity, and one way to not turn this into a dismissal or denial of gravity is, the pressure. Whenever I talk about pressure, it's easy to just talk about the weight, because in the ocean or in the pool, a swimming pool, wherever there's water, the deeper you go, the more pressure there is. And intuitively, people understand this is because of the weight of the water above you. And same thing, the atmosphere works the same way. So it's just the pressure is simply due to the weight of the air above you. So obviously that's going to gradiate away, but that happens at a gradient. When it gets close to 10 to the negative 17, 10 to the negative 16 is right next to it, but not 14 psi.
Can't have water without a container either.
With all due respect, you have no clue. Try not to interrupt me, please. Let me get one sentence out without being interrupted. Kosho, you guys have no clue what pressure is. I just posted something which Rakia brought to my attention a couple of weeks ago. Watch this video and we'll continue this conversation tomorrow. Do not embarrass yourselves.
Why don't you teach
have
me something?
No clue what pressure is. Zero.
Force per area. That's what pressure is.
But we can answer all your questions easily.
No, you can't. You're in La La Land. You have zero freaking knowledge. Just watch this video and it'll all be abundantly clear to you, man.
44 minutes, man.
I thought pressure is force per area, but I think this video shows that it's not force per area then.
You have no clue, bro. No.
Yeah, I think it's force per area, so
zero. After you watch this video, you will realize how no clue you are.
Hey, Essie, to be fair,
clueless.
The video is 44 minutes, so maybe give us a hint on what we're wrong about, or maybe tell us where in the video we should go to. But
Osho, I cannot begin to tell you. You're wrong about everything, bro. You got to watch this video.
The point.
Yeah, Osho, it's like
one thing a second ago.
But you gotta give it to Essie. It's not a 4-hour video like what Jin posts.
I assure you it'll be worth it. I promise you, you will really leave this video illuminated about pressure, man. Because right now, it's like talking to kindergarten students.
I agree. But can you point out what a second ago I said that was wrong when I said it was due to the weight of the air above it, right? This is what the water causes, the water pressure in the ocean. You said that
about the weight, yeah.
Wrong?
I'm not talking about the weight. I'm talking about what you guys think from 1 to 0 is no big deal, right?
No one said that. I told you that creates the suction for a vacuum cleaner is 1 to 0. So that
has nothing to do with what pressure is, but has nothing to do with what pressure is by definition.
Can you please, for the love of God, just watch this video? It'll take 45 minutes of your life, and we'll continue this tomorrow. It'll be a whole new conversation, I promise you.
Dude, you can't expect us to watch a 45-minute video without any context.
It's pressure. Pressure isn't what we think it is.
Why do when I start talking, the whole room just fucking explodes? Hold on a second.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we can watch this video in 22 and a half minutes. Let's do it.
Put it on half speed or on half speed.
Double speed.
Man.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't know what to be looking for, so my mind wanders, especially when I have no idea what. It's like that's what I'm saying. Maybe
I don't like what you're saying at all. Honestly, objectively, I don't like anything you're saying. I'm not gonna watch it because I don't know what it's gonna teach me until I watch it.
You're gonna get on the video.
I have no idea what to look for.
I'll tell you. They took a regular guy, an actor, and they put him through the paces what a U-2 pilot just going at 70,000 feet has to deal with pressure. He has to breathe oxygen. Listen to this, man. I'll tell you one thing in the video to entice you. In order for them to go up there, right, and get in that suit and breathe oxygen, they have to, from Earth, on a treadmill, breathe pure oxygen before they put the suit on, so their body could acclimatize to it. Second, when they put the suit on, they walk to that place where the suit is with a pure oxygen on their face, like in the hospitals, right? And now, in order for them to put the suit on, he cannot breathe the oxygen at this pressure. He has to breathe pure oxygen. And he has to hold his breath while they put the suit on. I'm telling you, you guys have no clue, man.
Why are you saying that?
I'm not saying that because I think I'm smart or something.
But why do you think that's news to us? I told you, I was talking the other day about this dude who went higher than Felix Baumgartner, how he died from nitrogen poisoning because he opened his mask up there. And then we've seen David Blaine's. He climbed up in those balloons 2 years ago or something like that, and that was part of the fear, is that he was going too high, in which he didn't have any oxygen up there. I think maybe he might have had some oxygen, but yeah, I don't understand what how is that like news or anything.
I mean, I think SC didn't mention pressure once.
I know.
It's just about the lack of oxygen.
You guys are just not willing to learn, man. You're just not willing to learn.
We know.
You just
we know
think you
people
know
use
shit.
oxygen.
When I present you with something that is proof positive, like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
A proof positive of what? That the pressure is fucking low over there and there's no wall between us and that place?
No,
So we
proof
apply pressure
positive
next to
that
low
you have.
pressure?
Listen up. Proof positive that you have no fucking idea what pressure is, bro. Simple.
No, but you didn't mention pressure once.
Yeah, I didn't. This is what you do, man. You're just a troll. You're just here to waste time.
I'm wrong about pressure,
I'm
and you didn't
proving it right
say
now,
anything
man.
about
You're
pressure.
unwilling to learn, Mo, man. We know your game, bro. At least Kosho, you can
Oh,
have
I mean,
a
the
conversation
person
with.
with the well is nice, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
He did
So
say
you
they
have
were.
What do you
no
mean?
He did
value,
say he
Mo,
had to
man.
breathe.
You have no
Sure,
value in
yeah,
this conversation, bro.
You're a secret king. Yes, everyone adores you, and you're the secret king. But still, you didn't mention pressure once. So you weren't talking about pressure, and you said that you don't know anything about pressure, even though you
That's
didn't
right.
mention it
You
once.
don't. That's right. You don't. You have
Yeah,
zero
pressure
clue
is force
what
per area.
pressure is,
So
mailman.
how am I
You're just
wrong? How am
here.
I
How
wrong?
do you
You're
get
just
pure
here to
oxygen?
do what you're
How do you
doing
get
right
pure
now.
oxygen?
That's all.
You
Quickly,
can
how
hear
do
how much you're talking shit
how do you
about
get
just a
pure
little like
oxygen?
tidbit there. Imagine if you watched the whole video, how much you could talk shit then. Just watch the whole video, then, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think the video doesn't tell me anything different. That pressure, after watching this video, I would still think that pressure is force per area.
This is a mind of a troll. He didn't watch the video, but yet he feels that he can comment on it. This is it. This is the moment what I live for, to expose guys like this guy, a troll.
Thank you,
What
Joe.
does the video say?
He can't tell because it doesn't change anything about pressure. The pressure would still be force per area as per physics.
There it is. There's the expert. Before watching something, he comments on it. That's what you guys do.
Well, he's not watching the video, but you can think of him as watching the video.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, I watched the video, okay? And I won't ridicule you whenever I realize it's not related to what we were talking about. But in exchange, I'm gonna have a shorter video, okay? And unlike the video you posted, the context is in the title, but you gotta watch this video, 30-minute video.
Let's see what he's got.
Oh, I raise you a shorter video.
You
Frames
watched
of
that
reference?
video? You watched that video, Kosho?
I said I will watch it. I'll watch it today, like you said. And I'm asking you if
Okay.
you watch this video that I posted today as well.
I've seen this
Okay.
frames of reference crap too. Where this is the one where the camera sits above the table and doesn't move. That one.
Yeah, that happens in this video, yeah.
I've seen both of these videos, both
So
your
by
video
default,
and this video.
pure oxygen pressurized.
Yeah, he has to breathe pure oxygen, bro. Pure oxygen in a treadmill just to go 70,000 feet.
And everybody's seen the video where the
That's
redhead
so
with
he
the
doesn't
beard
have as
crushes
much
the tanker,
nitrogen.
right?
Isn't
We've all
that
seen
though?
that, right?
So he doesn't have that much nitrogen in his blood, so that the nitrogen doesn't gasify under the pressure he'll be under and
Exactly.
swell
So
up.
he doesn't get the
kill him?
bends yet. Exactly. Yep.
Same thing in the scuba guys, yeah, the bins thing, yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
The scuba guys, you guys have all seen, what is it called? Mythbusters, where they crush the tanker by changing the PSI.
It makes it
Yeah.
Hold on a second. It makes it to follow the same logic though. It makes it seem as if we do have a kind of a screwy idea of what pressure is. If the gas molecules they get bigger.
You mean in the upper atmosphere?
Yeah, if the nitrogen, it's because it's out of place. It doesn't stay at its same size. It swells up. So it would seem that our idea of the molecules just staying the same size and moving faster is wrong. That they don't just move faster; they also expand.
Well, expand from each other, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
the
don't know if
volume.
it's from each other or if it's individually they expand and get larger as a one molecule.
I've seen it with my own eyes. They multiply. They don't get bigger. They multiply.
They multiply.
I've seen it.
I don't think. I don't
They
think they do either. It's just like in a balloon. Like a balloon, it's just there's less pressure, so the gases have the ability
It
to.
wouldn't hurt the pilot though, or the the person if it were just moving faster. It has to get bigger for those to create those bubbles.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. But in this case, get bigger, I think, just refers to the availability of the pressure to, like increase in size because your body's not a rigid container.
I think my body is a container, right?
It does raise a couple of questions for me. That's all I'm saying. The idea of it, because
Stay up here.
some of the things, some of the things are interchangeable in physics in a way, right? And I think we might be trying to, I don't know, act like a lot of shit's interchangeable just because we don't have an actual explanation for it.
But
Like
you're
it might
saying,
be that
you're saying the atoms are actually the molecules are getting bigger.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying it seems as if from just the hearing that the bubbles actually come up into your blood while you're at a different pressure, it just makes me feel like those bubbles are always there. They just expanded.
Yeah, exactly. That is what's happening. There's less pressure above the bubble and the surface of the water, or whatever medium you're using.
Exactly.
Did I just start to lag? My bad.
No, you came in clear.
How did you sense your own
That's
lag?
kind of
though?
why.
How do you know? How'd you know it?
Oh, I see the bar on the top go red. And on my phone, I see the bar go red. Yeah. If you were to start like boiling water and you have it at 90 degrees and you increased its elevation, the less pressure would cause those bubbles to pop out of the water to form at the bottom. And
I believe they call it outgassing. So yeah, you guys are right.
Okay, cool. So that explains a lot of stuff right there, and so water in a vacuum isn't really boiling; it's outgassing. You know what I mean? Like we call it boiling.
That's the term. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
So yeah, the higher you go with it, the more it'll seemingly spontaneously start to bubble.
But not be
Outgassing happens, but it also boils.
Yeah, but it's not
boiling
increasing
is
in
outgassing.
temperature. Like it's
Oh, yeah,
still
of course,
90
yeah.
degrees.
It's
It
not
doesn't,
hot.
it
It doesn't get hot.
increase in temperature. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
it doesn't get hot.
Just
You
the
know that,
pressure.
right?
I know it doesn't. Boiling doesn't mean that it's getting hot.
Okay.
Boiling is the state change.
A visual effect.
No, it's a
It
state
looks like
change.
it's boiling.
It is boiling.
It's not boiling like we think it is.
In that vapor pressure.
You're roboting left lane.
It's not boiling.
Okay.
Just when I was driving the other day, I drove into the left lane. And I thought about you, left lane. That's funny. But no,
Yeah.
I was like, why am I thinking about left lane? But no, yes, boiling it just refers to liquid turning to gas, so it doesn't matter what temperature it happens at.
Well, in
when you
that
use it in
sense,
that
yeah, but
context,
they call it outgassing. The same thing happens to
rapidly
rubber.
turning into gas. It has to rapidly. You're not going to say if something's evaporating slowly
Right,
over days and days. You're not going to say it's boiling. It has
Oh yeah,
to be
you're right.
rapidly.
You're right. Yeah.
I'm always right, Coach.
You're always right, dude. At all. Yeah, this time you're right.
Almost always.
Just there, you were wrong.
Now, let me give you a little tidbit, okay, of what we're just talking about. You know the seals that they use for to create a vacuum, right?
The baby seals.
No, like let me just put it this way. Yeah. The rubber seals that they use to create a vacuum, if it's a great vacuum like 10 to the minus 8 or something in that, they cannot use rubber seals because the rubber seals outgas, just like what we were talking about. It's another thing you guys have to learn. They
That's why you
use
need a container.
metal. Let me finish. So this is important. They use metal seals for vacuums like that. Just another tidbit that you guys need to know about pressure.
Is it going to be on the test?
Hermetic.
Sorry?
Nice. That makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense to me. There's liquid inside the rubber, and at a certain pressure, it'll release that liquid.
Yeah, bro. I'm not talking out my rear end. I researched this stuff. Pressure is a huge.
I know you're
There's
not.
also some cool shit that happens in plasma.
For most of what you say, you're not talking out your rear end for most of what you say.
Wait a minute.
What?
There might be misunderstandings.
Okay, so I just heard SE say one thing and this guy say a different thing. SE, what did you say these other rings were made out of?
Out of brass and soft metal, and that can only be used one time, Travis. Yes.
Okay, but then he said, "Oh, that makes sense."
those are.
Okay, but then this guy said, "Oh, that makes sense because rubber and liquid." So I don't understand why you
Because
said
that's
that.
what he's saying. Metal.
Well, if you
instead
were
of
listening
rubber
to
and
the
liquid.
whole thing, yeah.
You might have read about
Because
it.
at first, SE mentioned rubber sealers, and how they wouldn't work, and how you have to use metal sealers. So I said, yeah, that makes sense. If you use rubber, there's liquid inside the rubber, so therefore they have to use metal. So
It's the
I was
same
agreeing
reason-
with them.
Okay, I didn't hear you say they have to use the metal one. Okay.
You gotta worry about
All good.
the material they use for the walls too. You can't have something that's like it has to be something that's like definitely not porous, no liquid in it, whatever.
Yeah, you guys are starting to understand now. You're starting to get this.
I'm just
pressure
learning
thing?
about all this now, dude. Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm not trying to act smart. I'm just, because I researched it obviously more than you guys, I'm just laying out the information so you guys could understand that pressure is a big thing, man.
Yeah, I
From
didn't know that
1
before
to
either.
0 is a big thing.
1 to 0 is a big thing. When you were
Yeah.
14 years old,
Yeah, from 1 atmosphere to 0. Yeah, it is kind of a big deal.
you say
Even
1
though
atmosphere
it's
or
only
1?
14.
Do you say 1 atmosphere or 1 psi to 0?
The atmosphere, bro. We're talking about
1
vacuum.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a bigger difference, but it's like
And the vacuum that's created. Yeah.
It's huge. It's not a little bit. It's worlds apart, man. It's orders of magnitude apart. And
Yeah,
an order of magnitude is 10, right? We all know that?
Yeah, it's not orders
So
of
10 to
magnitude.
the
It's
minus
probably
17
one order of
torr.
magnitude apart.
The tens or hundreds or thousands or 10,000s place. It's all, yeah.
Yeah,
That's an
but
order
It's
of
a
magnitude.
big deal. It's a big deal. That's what I'm trying to convey to you guys. You're underestimating vacuum.
And actually, if you're talking about atmospheres, then it's actually 0 orders of magnitude apart. But if you stab the Coke can, like with a knife, a very sharp knife, you stab the Coke can, like the pressure difference between the inside of the can and the outside of the can would be much greater than 1 atmosphere. It would be close to 2.
Yeah.
Right, so how do we have outer space?
But yeah,
This
but
has
the
nothing to
difference
do
is,
with Coke cans, man.
Actually, it does.
I don't know, man. I think I'm talking
difference is
Chinese. I don't get it.
kind of a script to
I
withstand
don't know why it's difficult to
greater
conceive
pressure.
the difference. That being a small difference, the difference in
Over
1
lower
psi and 0 psi is a small difference. No matter how infinitely small you want to
You heard
break
me
up,
talking, dude.
actually, Grim, you're very quiet. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
All right, go ahead. My bad.
No, it's just astonishing to me that the difference in 1 and 0 is a very small difference. I don't know why we have to go into this orders of magnitude stuff just to get significant figures below 1.
And that's my whole point. You just don't get it, man. You just don't
But
get
there's
it.
an infinite
I don't get it.
decimal place
Oi, toing,
between
toing,
the two.
17 torr, toing, toing, presta mata,
Well, what we're talking
Nicotina.
about, what it means is a big deal is we can handle the higher pressures a lot easier than we can handle these lower pressures physically.
What?
And there's just more seems to go on under these lower pressures that, we're interested in because of that, I think. Because it's more dangerous. So, I mean, there's the same amount of shit's going on, except there's just more dangerous shit going on at these lower pressures I mean, dangerous shit happens at higher pressures too, but you have to go a lot higher to be that worried. You don't have to go very
We
low.
needed the pressure to discover that there was other pressures, so they do create a vacuum.
Right.
It's pretty dangerous actually, and you don't have to get that much more pressure. Underwater, it's underwater too. I don't know what the deepest someone could dive without a craft, but I don't think it's much more than 100 meters. So that actually seems like a lot.
You know
Right.
what? I
But I
would
mean,
pay
we can
money,
we
Kosho.
can
I
withstand
would
like
pay
2,
money
3
to see
atmospheres
your
worth
face
of pressure.
while you're watching the video I posted. Oh, did I cut you off, Grim? You're low,
No,
bro.
I think I just started right on you. Sorry. I was
It's
just
okay.
thinking we could
Go ahead.
withstand
Go
2
ahead.
or 3. Isn't it true we can probably withstand 2, 3 Earth atmospheres worth of pressure higher with our physical bodies, just normal?
Sure.
I think so.
But you can't go the opposite way that many orders of magnitude, or they wouldn't be orders of magnitude, but unless you split them into thousandths or something. But you know what I mean?
Your
But
blood would boil.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
So that's why it's a bigger deal. That's why it makes sense to say it's a bigger deal, because there's just more going on. More, you know what I mean? So to say no, the numbers are exactly the same. -2 is just as far away from 0 as 2. I mean, that's a kind of the bullshit argument I'm hearing right now.
Oh, but the pressure difference would be the same. But you're talking about like your body and what it can take. And yeah, you're right. Also, that your body, if it gets closer to 0 and there's less pressure, then it's just going to go wrong. And if there's more pressure, you can probably go 2 or 3 atmospheres, before start noticing anything that horrible. But it's still, so you still can't. It's for different reasons, because your body is the reason why your body will fail at lower pressures is because it's not being contained, whereas at higher pressures it's just being contained more. You know what I mean? So
Can we agree on what I said
Sorry,
about
guys, I
the
got a phone call.
seals,
Be
the
right back.
rubber seals? Can we all agree on that about the outgassing?
It's not news, man.
Okay, perfect.
I
Okay,
can
Kosho,
agree.
What's going on with the seals? What's
So
up with
check
the
this
seals?
out, Jeremy. Check this out, bro. They agreed that the seals, right? Rubber seals would outgas. Everybody agreed on that, right?
But they're using rubber seals on ISS, though.
Yes, Jeremy's on the ball. Now, the O-rings on the ISS in the cupola, there's 7 of them in the windows. There's 2 on each rod. That rod goes from the interior to the exterior. Those are rubber. Those have been up
Maybe
there
they're
for
metal.
20
Are they
years.
metal? Are you
No,
sure they're
sir.
rubber?
They're
Isn't it like
100% sure.
Where's
like
the
-6 torque?
pressure coming from? The pressure is coming from the container. It's from inside pushing out. It's not air trying to get into the cabin, right? On the ISS, the pressure comes from the air pressure inside.
So you're
too
saying
high.
directionality. So you're saying directionality matters for if they're gonna leak or not.
It doesn't. The outgassing does
I mean,
not
is
matter
that what he's
with
is that what he's saying?
directionality.
They're not going to outgas. The rubber seal knows which way it's coming, and it won't outgas if it's going a certain way.
I think that's what he's saying, yeah?
Very smart.
Not necessarily.
Now, I've been saying this for years. That single thing that I just said right now kills your ISS.
Wait, what's the pressure at the ISS though?
I think they
Probably
have
1
it,
atmosphere.
it's close to
No,
Earth atmosphere.
Comfortable pressure.
Outside the ISS, I'm saying.
I think it's close
On
to
the
the Earth.
outside of the ISS.
That's what they say. In any event, doesn't matter what the pressure is inside. If it's
I said
the same as
outside.
Earth,
Outside.
or it's close to the same as Earth, those rubber
outside.
O-rings. What?
Outside of the
Which
ISS.
way does outgassing happen?
14.7 psi inside the ISS.
Yeah, it's like Earth. Yeah, close to it.
Which way does out?
It's not
Is this
14.7
outgassing?
psi outside the ISS, man. Yeah.
Does
What's
this
that?
outgassing
Nothing's pushing.
Does this outgassing thing have a directionality or something? Some other guy was trying to say.
That's what they're
not
trying
true.
to say. Yeah, and they're failing
so
at
is
it.
that what's
I'm
going
not
on?
saying, dude, listen to me. What I'm trying
asking
to
for
ask
Kosho.
is how much pressure is there outside the ISS? What everyone keeps saying is 14.7 psi.
No, outside. We're telling you inside, Kosho.
I'm asking about the pressure outside the ISS.
10 to the minus 12 torr, I believe they say.
It
Around
is
there?
1.322 times 10 to the negative 11.
Okay.
11. There you go. I was close.
And do you happen to know what the strength of the vacuums are before they start worrying about that, SC?
Strength of the vacuum?
Yeah,
The
you
seals would pop out, bro.
I know,
They would
but
outgas.
I know, but
After
earlier,
22 years.
I know.
That's it.
When was the last time they changed those seals?
That's a very good question, Jeremy. I'm glad you asked. I've been trying to find maintenance records of that. I cannot find any. I've been challenging people for 3 years now to find
In
me.
the conditions of space, it's getting
Yep.
hot, it's getting cold.
Yep.
It's getting rusty too.
Right,
if
in
you've
direct
noticed. It's starting to
sunlight.
get
It's
like
in
an
direct
orange.
sunlight.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
starting to get
and
like
all
an
the air
orange tint to it.
I feel like there should just be air filters orbiting all around it before they like have to change out their air filters all the time and shit.
Yeah,
I bet it's
I
stinks up
challenge
there. It must smell
anybody.
terrible.
Yeah, I challenge anybody. Find me
They'll
a
find you the
maintenance,
records,
a scheduled maintenance change of the O-rings on the ISS and the cupola. I challenge anybody.
SC, I'm trying to ask you a question, man. It's like you're hearing half the question that answering the wrong question. I'm asking you earlier when you said that the at high pressure vacuum or at the lower pressure vacuums here on Earth, you were saying they can't use rubber anymore. I agree. I've heard that too. They have to use the what'd you say? You said like bronze or
Metal, yeah.
some sort of
Soft
soft
metal.
metal. Regardless, do you know what pressure that is when they have to start worrying about that?
I'm not sure. I believe when they go into the 10 minus 6, 5, 6, somewhere around there.
Minus 6?
I'm not sure. But I know in the very low and the ones that go, the greatest we reached here, I believe, is 10 to the minus 8 or 9.
I think we've gotten at least minus 10 before.
I could be wrong on that, but and those highs, certainly they have to use metal. Certainly, there's no question about it. And it's, by the way, it's one-time use. And the rubbers on the ISS, they're not just rubber, it's a dynamic system, they call it, which means that the O-rings are wrapped around the bar that goes right through the cupola, and it turns. So it's like comical almost.
Okay, so it says we've reached
Oh, hold
13.
on. You're telling me there's been a turning metal bar rubbing against this O-ring for 22 years?
Affirmative.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't believe you.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. That's why they love me so much, because I know they're bullshit too much.
Okay, I see.
I hear what you're saying, but that's... Go ahead, Coach.
I'm just saying the records on Earth in some context 10 to the negative 17, but the highest achieved in a lab is usually 10 to the 13.
I never heard that high, but okay, all right. Just check out the O-rings, what they use. There's no way that you can use rubber.
There's no way you had a spinning piece of metal. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're right on, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's no way you got a spinning piece of metal next to a rubber seal, gas or whatever for that many years in a row. It's not even possible.
I think it says they use silicone.
There's holes in the ISS that go straight into space.
7 of them. And they turn.
Sure.
Yeah, 7 of them. The cupola.
Yeah, but it says they use silicone, not rubber.
Same thing.
It's close, but
I think
I have some kind of hydraulic. Is it
O-ring.
clean to be submerged in some kind of hydraulic, the shaft, or some sort of fluid?
So the air
Not
inside the
aware of.
ISS wants to escape.
Yes, violently go out.
We got to make their story make sense. Come on. We do.
It's comedy. I've been trying to put this point out. I don't know for how long. This is the first time I was able to get it out clearly. about the O-rings, and because I was shut down every other time. This is the first time I believe I was clear about. I've been trying for years. So thank you guys.
It was important to understand the significance of the change in pressure and how severe of an impact it would have on every form of matter.
And the outgassing on the rubber, that's the most crucial point here.
The Canada arm and the cupola is a marvelous piece of engineering. There's a whole YouTube video on it explaining how the mechanism works.
The Canadarm? What does
Yeah,
that
and
have
there's
to do
also
with?
there's also like them opening a window, like where they rotate a thing and it opens the window.
Yeah.
So there's gaskets and seals. Yeah.
Yeah, it says
Just
there's like
because
a
they're faking
series of
ISS,
gears.
yeah, just because they're faking the ISS doesn't mean that space is fake.
Yeah, well, it says there's like a series of gears, like a whole bunch of them, and basically like they utilize the pressure, so that like the gears will start filling the holes as it's moving. Yeah, it is actually.
You guys want to laugh?
Yeah,
I just posted the O-rings that are supposed to be doing this function.
Smarter every day.
That's what they look like? Wow.
Yeah.
I think he's the one getting the explanation from the astronaut in the video.
He actually went to the guy who designed the cupola.
Yeah.
He now designs Harley Davidson stands. And you should watch that video. You're gonna blow your mind.
And then a girl actually does it, right? Like a female astronaut does it.
Yep.
For him.
Yep. Yeah. It shows her on I'm not sure if it's in that video, but there's an Italian astronaut that shows, I think I have a picture of her that shows her turning it and explaining how it works. And it's sheer fantasy, man. It's like, they're laughing at us. Not me, I know the game, but they're laughing at the ballers.
I found a video.
This what do you call it when the gas, it's not boiling, but what is it doing?
Outgassing.
Outgassing, yeah. Those are the bubbles in space too. So it's nice, all wrapped up.
Yep. Well, that's what happened to the astronaut in the chamber, right? Like where all this, like he said, his tongue started boiling and he collapsed over, and they had to pull him out.
Yes.
Yeah.
That guy got lucky, right? Surviving that. Everyone else died.
Right, but it just shows you that the fucking spacesuits that they use in a vacuum that's stronger than the Sandusky chamber by magnitudes, they can't survive in the ones on Earth. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
But how is it stronger by magnitudes of what?
But up in space, he's fine. It's double speak. It's stupid.
Why are you saying it's stronger by magnitudes?
Well, what's the Sandusky? It gets to like 8 to the negative something torr. But then outer space is 10 to the negative 17. But the suits fail in a lower and on Earth in a smaller vacuum that doesn't even get as empty as what outer space is. But they work perfectly fine in space.
And they say that the ISS is placed in low Earth orbit at negative 11.
Right, which is still.
Jim Jam just posted the video. Check it out. That's the one. It'll you got to watch it.
Yeah, but the pressure difference isn't that like if you 10 to negative 17 and your suit is 4. I guess if it's PSI, so the 10 to negative 17 torr, I think 4 torr would be something like say 280
yeah, but it's still
or something.
Failing. It's failing when it's gonna.
Yeah, 280 torr to 10 to negative 17 torr. The difference is only 280 torr.
Yeah, but it's still, the thing is, like you're missing the whole point. In a higher PSI environment like the Sandusky chamber, it still fails. So if it fails there, why would it not fail in space when it's an even lower vacuum?
But why? What did you see one fail, or they say it always fails? I don't understand.
No, the guy fucking, they had to rip him out of the chamber. His fucking suit completely failed, and he said all the liquid in his mouth started boiling, and he blacked out.
That was that one guy one time.
That's the only time they've never done it since then with the person. That's literally, I think that's the one and only time a dude went into a vacuum chamber.
That's correct. That's correct.
No, it's not. That's not the only time that a dude's gone in there with a spacesuit.
Yes, it is.
I've seen plenty of videos when they go in the vacuum chambers with spacesuits.
Oh, are you talking about the guy where he's standing there in front of the glass door
No,
and you can't see anything and you just move your phone around to like get a different perspective of the room? That one video that
I'm not sure. I didn't see somebody with a phone, but I've seen one where they've
are you
gotten in
talking
instead
about
of.
James May,
I've seen one when they got in
the
a
guy from Top
spacecraft.
Gear?
I've seen one when they got in a spacecraft in the vacuum chamber.
And then all that thing like you guys were mentioning about the Blackbird pilots, how they have to have that big suitcase and shit, and they're in that giant yellow suit. Well, the pictures I saw was like yellowy orange. You know, they got to carry that big
Pure
oxygen thing
oxygen.
with them. Right.
Pure oxygen.
Now,
Yeah, yeah.
but then you go and look at the SpaceX suits, and their fucking boots are just held together with super glue.
Yeah.
A different design.
That's a
They
good
still
catch,
fly
bro.
those planes. Wouldn't they just put them in SpaceX suits with? And then not only that, in the space shuttle, they're wearing motorcycle helmets and short sleeve shirts, and then they got to hit shit with the cane. You know, because they're being sucked into their seat. What the fuck happens if they drop their fucking cane? Like, you know, it's ridiculous.
Well, they have a touchscreen TV, I think so. It's bad design. I agree that touchscreen TV is bad design, but
Well,
that's probably why they
I
had
mean,
to use that stick, I guess.
no, but you're also like the dude spacesuit failed in the vacuum chamber on Earth. Yet it goes into an environment. Even the pressure of the moon is way lower than the Sandusky chamber. The pressure of the moon's like 12 to the like 10 to the negative 12 torr just
That's
on the
why the
surface of the moon.
suits have to be able to contain the atmosphere inside the suit.
It's about 4 feet.
Whereas underwater, you need a shell. You need a shell, not like a fabric material.
Were you talking about like those old timey like divers and stuff?
No, so
Yeah, like a
brought up-
diver.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
But
somebody brought up that
the directionality. Go ahead, Kosho.
Well, I was just saying, somebody brought up that tanker.
you go ahead.
The video where the tanker compresses or whatever.
when it implodes on itself.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why that tanker compresses like that is because it's not designed to withstand pressure. It's designed to contain pressure.
Yeah. Like a diving bell keeps the outside pressure out of the suit, and then the ISS walls keep the pressure inside. So they're only fighting one Earth's atmosphere, basically.
Well, I thought a diving bell was just so you can get air.
Well, it's also keeping the water above you, off you, from crushing you.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're hanging out inside that air pocket, then I don't know.
Yep.
I just remember using those diving
The deeper
bells
the bell goes.
in Assassin's Creed. I would just use that to grab more air so I could swim around.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, if the spacesuit fails in the Sandusky chamber, but then they claim it doesn't fail in space, I mean that's retarded.
I think it's strange that I'm not sure if you're saying that you think that's the only time they've ever tested a spacesuit in a vacuum chamber.
Unless you want to show me that Brian May video, the guy from Top Gear, Captain Slow or whatever.
Yeah. They were he was just showing off for a show or whatever, but they actually do test for them, and they don't film all of them. There's some of them on film.
I don't think they film any.
No, they film. There's some of them that are filmed.
I think they filmed that
test all of
one
them.
where the guy fell over and almost died, and then after that, they're like, "Oh, we can't. This is a bad idea." Plus, shit, dude. I mean, if what you're saying is true, and I don't want to get yelled at for mentioning this guy's name, but that Mark Sargent, that's one of his main things, right? Like, go and do a vacuum chamber in the spacesuit with me. See, but he mentioned that before. I've looked extensively for people inside spacesuits and vacuum chambers, and literally the only video I find is the guy that falls over, and then Brian May. That's it.
There's other ones. I'll show you one.
Yeah, this is a good example. There's a lot of guys that serve in the military here. Kosho's one of them, right? So you'll understand what I'm about to say. if you were to do a mission, if you were special forces, you were going to do a mission in high altitude mountainous training, right? In the cold, right? Are you going to train in the Sahara Desert or underwater for this event? Or are you going to try to recreate? You're going to go somewhere in Montana in the mountains or something to recreate this. Where would you train?
Maybe all the above. Who knows?
A pressure chamber.
Exactly.
You could do it in a
Never.
pressure chamber.
Doesn't it strike you odd as they never ever trained the mission in that thing, like to
They
open
do.
up one of those satellite arrays or the buggy that they put on the moon?
They
They
absolutely do,
never
man.
ever practiced it.
Why do you
And
think they have vacuum chambers? What do you think is the purpose of having vacuum chambers?
I don't know what you mean by they never like I've seen many videos of them in pressure chambers, you know.
No, you
Where?
haven't.
The whole astronaut team died in a pressure chamber. Like, wasn't it Apollo 11?
Oh, you
They
talk
died in
about
a vacuum chamber.
no,
They
they got
died
set
on
on
the-
fire inside their rocket.
They
The
died on
guy
the
said
launch
the thing's
pad.
a piece of shit. We're not going to space, and the very next day he got fucking burned alive.
I thought they burned alive in the pressure chamber.
No.
like,
they were in the cockpit
preparing.
in the
Cockpit?
Saturn 5.
Okay, my mistake.
Yeah, no, there's literally no footage of people inside vacuum chambers while the vacuum chamber is on.
Yeah, and the
Or,
guy,
like,
the three
diving.
astronauts were complaining because they were saying we can't even communicate from the capsule to the command center, which is a few feet away. How is this going to work 250,000 miles away? That's one of the complaints they
They
have.
weren't going that far.
Not only that, while the press was there taking pictures, one of the astronauts that died, the one that told his wife like the night before that he thought something bad was going to happen to him, he took a lemon and put it on the LM, and people took pictures of it, and then he died like literally the next day.
Wait, you said there was an LM. Why would they have a lunar lander on there?
Because it's a piece of shit.
A lemon?
No,
Yeah, he put a lemon on the lunar lander because it's a fucking lemon. He's like, this thing ain't getting us to space. Like that one guy just said, they can't communicate from their building to the capsule. How are they going to communicate from outer space and the moon and shit and make phone calls?
They weren't going to the moon
on a landline.
I don't know why. I don't know why you're saying they had a lunar lander, or they weren't going to the moon. On Apollo 1?
It wasn't Apollo 1.
It was Apollo 1.
What was it? It was after Apollo 11, wasn't it?
They set on fire or whatever in the cockpit.
That happened on the ground while they were testing it. They put pure oxygen in the capsule. That was the excuse.
Right. They essentially killed them.
No, it did happen. There was a spark, they say, from electrical, blah, blah, blah. But we really don't know what happened.
I thought it was explosive decompression. You know,
it was murder.
Explosive decompression.
You're getting smarter every day.
Hey, it's me, Dustin, here.
Some of us are getting smarter every day. Some, I think, are going the other way.
Is it Dustin or is it Destin? Dustin?
Dustin. I don't know. Dustin.
Yeah, it was Gus Grissom was the guy that was talking all that shit. Well, Virgil Grissom, but he called him. Yeah. That was... What mission was this?
I think that was Apollo 1.
Yeah, that's what it's saying now. What was Apollo 1's... Weren't all the Apollos supposed to be, like, going to the moon? So they were
Enterprise.
The first one. Was Apollo 1...
Was it Endeavor? Endeavor was the one that blew up. Or Challenger? Fuck.
Challenger blew up, and also...
Endeavor?
No, I think it was...
Columbia.
Columbia? Yeah, I guess that was it. Columbia?
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah.
What was the name of the airplane that never made it around the equator to prove that the Earth was a globe? What was that?
I don't think that happened. There was one that was going to the
Amelia
South
Earhart.
I've sort of navigated east to west or west to east around the equator, not around the equator, but west to east. But the one you're talking about was the one that's going north to south.
No, I'm thinking. I thought it was the Concorde flight tried to go around the equator to prove that there was no, and they couldn't do it, or something.
Concords are weird how they all kind of just vanished.
Well, no,
But
they
the-
weren't feasible.
The Canadian jet
They
Concorde.
were used for several decades, weren't they?
Yeah, I know, but it just wasn't the. It was. I think that it was the design and the price. It wasn't feasible to maintain them.
I don't know about all that. It might be. I don't know.
They couldn't justify the price, so planes went a different way.
They were fast.
Airbus.
Yeah, the Canadian jet.
It's cool looking. Looked like a space shuttle.
Yeah, I wish I could have gone on one.
Swept
With the
wing.
Concords, yeah.
You
Concords
think
are
of all
neat.
that. You think of all that misused money. They couldn't get around it. Like they couldn't cook the books to make it work. That whole expense thing is a joke. When
Well,
you
you got to
consider
remember
the
their businesses, so they try to make money.
yeah, their businesses, right? I know. Yeah, but you got to think about the entire world system that we're in right now. They control the economy. They can do. They could have. So there's
Airlines?
something else besides economics for.
Wait, what? How do the airlines
the
control
Concorde.
it? What are you talking about?
They're good. They're very good salesmen because I mean, like, how could you sell somebody on that? Like, hey, listen, we could go to Mars, but we just, with the way the housing market is right now, we just had a bunch of layoffs. We could have on Mars though to just swallow that.
I just don't get why they can't make spacesuits anymore. What's the problem? They already had a 100% successful test with like a suit. I don't get why they can't do it anymore. Like it's just weird.
What are you talking about? What are you guys all saying? You guys are all saying crazy stuff. Why are you saying they can't make spacesuits anymore?
What spacesuit do they have that they're going to use to go when they can't replicate it?
What are you talking about? They
In fact,
have
I literally just
they have
saw
a whole
something
bunch
the
of
other
new
day where
suits.
NASA said they're giving up on it.
Didn't SpaceX make new spacesuits that are like thinner, lighter,
They have a
cooler
bunch of different
material?
designs.
Yeah.
Mm.
There was
That's
that
another
dude
thing,
in the
too.
Tesla floating around, like the mannequin. He had one of those spacesuits on, right?
Yeah, but that's Tesla's. I mean, that's not Tesla. That's SpaceX's. And NASA, they go through more.
Ain't that the video where the entire globe glitches out at one point? But we just
People are so
pretend that we
fucking
don't see it.
stupid. One day they're going to say, "No, we have an invisible spacesuit on them," and people are going to just fucking swallow that. You can't see it. Don't worry about it.
I think
It's invisible. That's
launching
how
a
great it is.
launching a Tesla into space was one of the weirdest things. Like seeing that thing in space was just fucking weird, right? Like
Because it was fake. It wasn't
even
real.
as a
That's why.
Glober,
That's why you think it's weird because it's not fucking real. It's clearly not real.
Well, it's fucking dumb
Really not
and
real?
useless. Yeah.
Why would he do that? Why wouldn't he? Okay, let's say that it's fake. Okay, space is real. SpaceX is real, but the
It's
car is
not.
fake. Why would? Okay, but in that context, why would he fake putting his car in space?
Because
For people like you,
Right.
NASA fanboys.
Because there are people out there that go nom 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 nom.
Kosho, can we
so
agree
I'll
that
say it one more time, man.
it looked dumb? It was dumb.
He
Like
does
it was
a lot
kind of
dumb
pointless,
stuff, but
right?
some people's dumb is other people's cool, and I mean, if I own
The
both those
entire
companies,
globe in the
I own both those
background
companies. I don't see
glitched out
that
in the
seems
live
like a
feed.
dumb idea.
Yeah,
It
some
was an
people's
amazing.
flat Earth. Some people's flat Earth is another person's globe.
Yeah.
You know,
true.
so again, the whole thing, right? You got to think about scripts. You got to think about what's said, what's not said. Elon Musk, it looks so fake, it's got to be real. And so then that also is a direct quote from the movie Capricorn 1, where the fake Mars mission was depicted.
Is it really?
I've
No, that's
never
funny.
watched
Yep.
that movie.
I didn't. I'm gonna fact check you.
You need to watch it. It is a classic 70s movie with names and faces you'll recognize, and it's a little bit kooky in a chase scene, but it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Isn't like Clint Eastwood in it or Burt Reynolds? One of them.
No, it's you know who Josh Brolin is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll recognize his dad because he looks just like his dad now because he was as old as his dad was then. But his dad was in it. James Brolin, O.J. Simpson was in it. A couple other big names, and Elliot Gould. Elliot Gould was in it. You need to watch it. It's worth the rent. I think it's actually free on YouTube.
They'll probably
right
find
now.
it on BitChute.
Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 98%. It's pretty good
Something I
movie
noticed.
review, man.
Thanos.
Yeah. He played
There was a
Thanos.
shitload of movies on BitChute.
On BitChute for real? Like they don't get taken down?
I just watched Rocky 1 on there just the other day. Like any
No.
movie I thought of that I wanted to see, I just type it in on BitChute. There's usually a good chance I'll find it in full, and I just cast it to my TV.
Well, they had all the James Bond movies on YouTube. I mean, you had to have YouTube Premium though.
I use Streamio. It's free. It uses torrents and it has everything,
I
including
get
Cam.
I get YouTube Premium for free.
Yeah, I use YouTube Advanced, which is like YouTube Premium.
What's the difference?
It's got no ads. It's free.
I mean,
It's like
what's the difference between YouTube Advanced and Premium?
I'm not sure actually, because YouTube Advanced is like it could get shut down at any moment.
The Canadian? Is it a different website?
It's a whole nother app. Yeah, you have to Google it.
Okay, I'll check it out, man.
Check that out too. That sounds good.
I use YouTube Premium, and yeah, it has no ads. But I like because you can download shit and you got extra content and stuff.
The only problem, like, I've been wanting to try YouTube Premium because I always get that, try it for 3 months or whatever. My thing is, what if I go ahead and buy it, then all of a sudden my YouTube account gets shut down? Because it just, ever since like 2021, I noticed like every couple of months I'll have to make a new one for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like how? So that means I would like pay for my service and then lose it.
No, don't pay for it, dude. I never said pay for it. I make a new account like every couple of days.
Oh,
I got over 1,000.
YouTube Advanced also has like the YouTube Music app as well.
That's such a waste of time.
What's a waste of time? Music?
Oh,
making the accounts over and over and over again to just recycle your.
It takes literally 10 seconds.
Bum life.
It takes 10 seconds. Yeah.
Oh, you know what else is good about YouTube Advanced is just like Premium. You could play in the background. You could play when your phone is off, or like on standby mode. It'll play in the background. Yeah, that's the best thing.
Is it content? Is it the same content? I don't get it. Is it like a totally different thing?
Yeah, no, it's the same exact content. If you download it, you'll have it side by side, like next to your YouTube app.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's a whole nother app, whole nother icon. You just have to
Google
it.
You said something about YouTube Music?
Yeah, so YouTube Advanced has like its own YouTube Music as well, which is the exact.
Okay. That's probably one of the differences. Then it probably includes YouTube Music. Then.
No subscription fee. Paulie, you're saying I still use it. It seems to work on my phone still.
Oh, you know what, dude? I was gonna see if it's like a different company. I can't tell if it's Google yet, but I doubt that it is. Yeah, it's not at all. And yeah, so it's just basically like basically somebody took YouTube. They basically take YouTube and they basically stream this app YouTube through this app, but it comes with all these features which automatically lets you do background playing and lets you do the picture. So it lets you do all the stuff as Google Premium without having to have Google.
Yeah, exactly. All the same stuff. Same exact catalog. You could search everything. Subscribe. You can log in and everything too. It has a home page and all that too.
It says Google won't allow it on Google Play Store.
Without commercials.
If too many people download it, I can guarantee you it'll get taken down or non-supported anymore, you know? Anywho, let's talk about the moon landings again and the space race, because that's an interesting subject. Like how much more advanced was Russia at the time, sending astronauts and satellites into space, and how did we beat them to the moon?
Well, first of all, they were less careful in like every single way possible. That's why they had to out of there, and they literally.
We're over here blowing up entire crews with the oxygen.
Yeah, but they had dudes that went up there that died, just because they weren't going to come back down. But same thing with dogs. They had dogs up there that they had no plan to bring them back.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
USA did it better. We just did it better.
Yeah.
I mean,
Only
the-
time in human history where technology goes backwards.
No, USA,
How to go backwards?
USA, USA.
How to go backwards? Though?
Make it.
What do you mean how to
again,
go
backwards.
backwards?
We can't
They
go
go
Yeah, how
backwards
backwards. What are you
because
saying? Go backwards.
I just told you we don't
You
have
know what?
the
Zero.
technology to go back to space again. Here,
we don't have
Kosho,
the
make this noise.
technology.
No.
I'd go to moon in a nanosecond, but we lost that technology. It's a painful
Make that
process
noise,
to build it
Kosho. No.
The
back.
technology.
Yeah. You know what he was talking about?
Yeah, I can't believe y'all hang your hat on
Space
that.
suits?
No, he was talking about the spacecraft, the Saturn V, the thing that cost him at the time like $5 billion to build each time. At the last missions, all the parts and stuff like that, they cannibalized them for the other missions. So they had none of this the Saturn V, so they had to rebuild the spacecraft, probably better. And that was back when
The
the
thing
was
Yeah,
9 times what it is
I
now.
love it how you always claim money. It's too much
No,
money, but then we
no,
go and send
no,
Ukraine $50 billion in one day. Like, what the fuck are you talking
I
about?
didn't only say money.
No.
SpaceX
Well-
seems to be launching and relaunching and landing them pretty easily, so I don't see why NASA couldn't do that back in the day.
We did
Or at
see
least,
that
you know,
lunar
NASA
landing.
did
Well,
do that back then.
technology advanced technology, right?
When Elon Musk did that, that was
Yeah.
profound and it wasn't novel because I think Blue
It's not
Origin did it first,
profound.
but however,
It's
NASA
supposed
had
to.
been
We
doing
did it in
that.
the 60s like 9 times with the asymmetrical rocket.
As
You
a
said
globe
NASA did that
earther,
9 times.
as a glober, there's only a few explanations we can say why we haven't gone back to the moon.
Give us your best one.
And
Yeah,
Why
there's
would
so
actual reasons.
Why would we? Why would we go back?
so
Of
there's
course,
the why
yeah.
would we?
As
That's
you
a good
say
one.
that you want to. Many presidents have claimed it.
There's actual reasons.
So-
So you don't have to make up reasons.
Yeah.
Like
So
right
let's
now,
come up
aren't
with
we
the
supposed to
actual.
go to the moon as a way station to Mars? Wasn't
Yeah,
that
so the
supposed to
actual
happen?
reasons. What
Yeah.
would be an actual reason?
First
Not
of all,
to-
a way
not to go
station,
back.
a
Actual
way
reasons
station
are
is
made up,
retarded.
The actual reason is exploration. That's what humans do.
No, dude. First
That's
of all,
what they tell us. They want to go to the moon, make a way station. They have plans for it right
a
now.
way station.
Yeah, a
For
way
sure.
station so they can practice on their trip to Mars eventually to build a colony,
wait.
right?
What a waypoint.
Yeah.
Can I-
Okay. So the what do you call it? Space. What's it called? The Space Lab. I think it was called the mission they did right after the Apollo missions. That was
Yep.
the big. That's what they were, putting all their energy into. They wanted to put a lab up there in space, and so they cannibalized the Apollo missions in order to do that. And part of the reason why they were
Lost all their
disinterested.
blueprints and
Part of the
everything,
reasons-
and they never kept any records on how to build it after
Part
they
of the
cannibalized
reasons.
it.
Part of the reason why they were
Like I said,
disinterested in the Apollo missions was because the first one had a lot of views, and then the viewership declined after that. People were disinterested in seeing the boring, say the same thing after one another of the moon missions. People weren't excited about it anymore, and their budget decreased by a shit ton. So, all those things, they had none of their missions were based on the moon.
Okay, so that's
What are
Their
you talking about?
budget
They're not
did-
excited
their
about
budget
it. You have
didn't
almost
decrease
every
quite
president
enough.
since like 1975 promising that
Yes.
they're going to go back, and then always gets pushed back.
Yes. If they had no will to go,
Or
why
no
would
reason
all
to.
the presidents
exactly.
keep saying, "Yeah, we're going to go this year, and then we're going to push it back"? And I mean, you're making no
I
sense. Kosho.
didn't say they had no will to go. What I said was the interest in the Apollo missions went down after the first landing. Like the viewer, the Nielsen's Nielsen's
Yeah, fair
ratings, or
enough.
whatever.
With I Love Lucy, I got that
Viewership-
part. Yeah, I got that
viewership
part.
declined
Yeah,
by a
but
lot.
at the same time,
Yeah,
Coach, you were
but
saying
why
that.
would the
Why would
government
they go?
keep? Yeah, why would they keep
I didn't
saying
say
we're
why
going
would
to
they
go?
go.
We're going to go.
You were saying like what what are the reasons why they would go? Why would they go again?
I didn't say. I didn't say.
Actual reasons that they.
Say why would they go? I was telling you why they
would they
didn't.
need to? And they would need to if, like, there's enough interest that the president himself is, promising to go back. That means, that there's enough reason to go back.
That's
not
not
to
enough
mention
reason to go back.
strategically Okay, so the question
Do you
I
think
asked
the
was
president
why
Hey,
wouldn't
was asked
they
oh,
get
I
no
got it.
reason to?
I'm saying that was not a reason. Like if a lot of people are like, yeah, let's go to the moon, and then the president's like promises people on campaign promises or something like that. That's not a reason to go to the moon. That's just the president saying stuff to people. You know what I mean?
So
I
the
can think of a
president
million
I don't know if
different
you guys-
reasons it was
just to be
true
clear,
why to go.
The mission plans at NASA, like the years in advance planning that they do, is probably more what they're interested in doing, not necessarily just something.
there
the
was this
president
really-
says.
hold on. Let's nail this down. So it's your opinion that the
I
president
was just trying to talk, bro.
is yeah. Let me just chase this down, and it's all yours. But it's your opinion that the president was simply pledging to go to the moon, just for popularity, and he wasn't advised whatsoever about making this promise. Each president, basically.
I don't see why that's hard to believe that a president who doesn't have any control over NASA at all yet, then he becomes president and then doesn't do what he says he was going to do. I mean, it's not like he made the plans, while he wasn't there.
Not just there's presidents that did it, after the campaign trail, after being elected, that they promised to go to the moon.
It still happens all the time. They say things that they don't do.
Exactly.
I think you guys need to.
Their hummingbird mouth overloads their jaybird ass, or whatever it is. Jaybird mouth overloads their hummingbird ass.
What the fuck are you talking? What?
So what about the presidents that cited
are
reasons
you
like
high?
discovering
I
water
think he just
on the
took a
moon?
big hit of meth or something at his truck stop.
That was crazy. That was crazy talk, Howard.
They did it. They did test that. That was exploring for water on the moon. They still did those things.
Hey, so there is this really, really funny Kristen Wiig skit on Saturday Night Live where she's at a party and she wants to sing, but she's like pretending that people are watching. She's like, "Oh, don't make me sing." So it's like NASA. "Oh, don't make me go back. You want me to go back? I'll go back. Oh, but don't make me go back. You want me to go back?
We hear a lot of
Don't
silliness in response. I mean, what about legitimate response? I mean, questions are good, but yeah, that's not.
Who is rambling about a hummingbird, dude?
No, the budget.
It's an old saying of a president is a jaybird mouth overloading his hummingbird ass. He says things that he can't actually do.
Right. Like what's his name? Woodrow Wilson said we weren't going to go to war, and then he immediately goes to war. World War I. The presidents do that kind of shit. But
I get it.
Yeah, that's not the point though. The point is, their budget was their budget is right now 0.5% of the entire budget, 0.5%. Okay, and the same cost that it cost them to build a Saturn V and take it to the moon is basically the budget they get for the entire year right now. So these missions require more than just people's interest in it. It requires
get out of here, man.
Serious
Dude, get out of here
of their missions.
Don't make me build another spaceship. Don't. I'll build it. Okay, I'll build it. Don't make me build it.
From the 70s,
they were getting 4.5% missions.
From the 70s. Yeah. From the 70s, they've been telling us, bro, we're going to go back in 4 years. From the 70s. How many more years will it take for you to question it? Tell me, how many more years?
Shut up, Canadian. You don't even pay taxes to the
I remember
shut up.
when
Why
George
upset?
W. Bush said we'd have a base by 2015.
Why is SE Montreal upset how NASA spends money? Why is SE Montreal, a Canadian, upset at how the U.S. government spends its money?
You see how he came in? He came in telling me to shut up. This is paid NASA shill, everybody.
No, I asked a question. How is SE Montreal upset how the U.S. government spends its money? As a Canadian citizen, you should care less.
Kosho, instead of telling us the percent, tell us the actual dollar amount that they get, please.
Everything
the
America
dollar
does
amount you said?
affects Canada.
Yes.
That they get today?
Hey, the Canada arm up there, so we're involved. We got the Canada arm.
You said again.
I was on the shuttle. It isn't anymore.
Hey, Kosho, instead of telling us the percentage that NASA gets, tell us the dollar amount, please.
The dollar amount is about $30 billion today, which is about the same amount that a single Apollo mission would cost when you correct for inflation.
And what's the black budget? Like trillions?
Yeah, they don't get that. Yeah, that's usually goes to CIA and
30 billion per year.
Everyone is so upset about the NASA budget, but doesn't say jack about the defense budget. That's like
let me see how much that is per day.
Well, the
So
Canadians
when will
are
you start
thinking
questioning it there, NASA? When will you say, you're an American, it's your money, agreed? When will you say,
a half
damn,
a
man?
percent, one
When
half
will
of
you start?
1% of the budget. Oh yeah, I'm really just concerned about one half of 1% of the budget.
That's not what I asked. Well,
One
that's
half
not
of
what
one,
I asked.
and
I asked,
that's one
when
half
will you
one.
start
It's one half
questioning?
of 1% of the disposable budget. You know, not the the what do they call it? It's
Right. Let's see if you can let me get my question out without interrupting me. NASA paid NASA shill. You, as an American taxpayer, when will you start questioning the moon landing? After how long? After how many more delays? From the 80s, it's been happening. When will you, paid NASA shill, an American taxpayer, start questioning it?
you start questioning flat Earth, then we'll question it.
No, but why would you
I believe
ever
I
start
didn't hear
questioning
from
based
paid
on
NASA
that?
shill
You
there.
should
That was
already
people.
question it.
Paid?
Let's
No comment,
relax
Paid?
here.
I'm sorry. Did someone ask me a question, an intelligent question? I don't think so.
Oh,
You hear that?
So
Paid
30
NASA shill,
billion
ladies
a
and
year.
gentlemen. Just
I get
comes
18
here to
million.
disrupt.
Okay, no,
Well,
but SE, why would somebody, based on that, why would they stop believing in the moon missions?
No, but if I was to ask you the same question, would you answer it, Kosho?
I just did. I'm saying, like,
I
I
would.
don't know of any time limit that would make me not believe in something. Like, just because they don't go back, that wouldn't make me not believe that they ever went.
I could
They
answer it
say
as if I was
Really,
paid
though?
NASA shill.
I said start questioning it as a taxpayer. Your money being given to go back to the moon, to set a base, to go to Mars, right? When will you start questioning and say, wait a minute, they keep telling me that they're going to do this since the 80s, but they haven't done it. When will you start questioning that?
I don't make the plans at NASA, so my money's not going to them to go to the moon. It's just going to them, right?
Obfuscation, another obfuscation. Okay, got it.
That's not obfuscation.
You gotta just answer the question, though.
Just because they don't go to the moon.
I think what he's
You
saying is
answer the
you'll never
question
question
properly, Kosho. Same with you, doofus.
Stupid question. Sorry.
It's a
He's
stupid
saying that
question,
you'll
and the
never
answer can
question
be
that.
stupid, but you can answer it properly. You just say,
That's my answer.
When
That's
enough
my answer,
doubt is
Dizzle.
thrown my way, when enough
That's my
evidence
answer.
appears,
That's
that's
the
when I
actual
won't
answer.
believe it.
The actual answer is there's no time frame. I would not stop believing it just because they
Agreed.
go back.
But
when are you going to start questioning? When are you going to start questioning flat Earth, though? That's a good
if
question.
evidence was put
think of when they
forth,
would question NASA. He can't think of when they would question it. That's what he said.
but you can answer that honestly and say, when the evidence shows that it throws a lot of doubt into my, when the evidence is sufficient enough, that's when I will doubt the official.
Dizzle, that wasn't his question. I answered it honestly. He asked for a time. He asked for an amount of time that we keep pushing it back. He's saying how far in the future they keep pushing it back and they don't go. When will you start questioning it?
Yeah. So when there's enough evidence that it's bullshit. Like when NASA has dissatisfied you enough, that's when you won't believe it.
Just an answer to a different question now. Yeah.
But yeah,
they won't even say that, bro. They won't even be honest enough like you. Congratulations.
You're welcome, SC Montreal. You're welcome. And I don't get how Kosho you're fighting me still.
He said there's no
No,
time
because you said it was a
stop
dishonest answer. That wasn't dishonest. That was an honest answer to the question he asked. If he asked me, when would you stop believing it? Like generally, yeah, if there was enough evidence, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So he's asking a really simple question, like when, and then you got to say when there's enough evidence to suggest so.
He specifically said they're pushing the time back. Like we don't go is like when he's saying like after how many years do they say, oh, we're gonna go in this, we're gonna go to the hand, and they don't go.
Yeah, okay. You sure you're not going to give an exact year? You're not going to give an exact year.
He's not going to answer. I'm telling you.
I answered the question as
let's
plainly as
say
possible.
there's no more evidence than they have. They just keep on.
No,
making
that's not my answer. That was
after how many
answer.
years of them doing the same as they've been doing. Would you
Jesus
stop?
Christ! Listen, that is the question, and the answer I gave was not about evidence. The answer I gave was a time frame, and there's no time frame. There's no amount of time. 1,000 years. If we don't go to the moon for 1,000 years, that's not reason for me to not believe.
Let me paint a picture for you, Kosho. Let's say you're seeing this girl, right? And she wants you to take her out. You're taking her out for dinner and for drinks and this and that, and she keeps on pushing back. Like she promises that that you can go home with her or whatever. She keeps on pushing it back. At what point how many times does she have to push back sleeping with you that you'll believe that it's not going to happen?
Nice,
like,
bro.
so the reason why
that
that's
was
not
epic.
the reason why that's not the reason why that's
We've
not
slept with
analogous,
other
dude.
women before.
Yeah, the reason why that's not analogous is that it would have to be analogous if the question were, she says she's going to sleep with me and she doesn't do it and blah blah blah.
Man, it's
How many
implicit
times
when
does
you're
she have to do
taking a
that
girl
until
for
I
drinks.
believe
Let's
that
go,
we
man.
never had sex before? And that's the answer to that question is there's no amount of time. That
so
doesn't.
You would keep on taking this girl out endlessly.
So it wouldn't be hours. It wouldn't be like 10 hours. It would be when enough lies are told by her to convince you that she's lying.
Well, she keeps on promising, right? And she's
you could
pushing it
just
back.
That's a time
You
period
could sleep with a
when
different girl.
when she says enough mistruths or
No, you could just go and sleep with another girl.
Yeah, you could go try your luck with Veronica Mars, but she'll probably push it back too.
Okay, very funny.
Yeah, but you got to think about all the rocket launches. You got to think about all the rocket launches and the Tesla in space as her little teases to keep you on the line. Like she gives you just a little tug job. She gives you, it'll be, oh, here we go, little tease up, but not the big one yet. Not the big one.
The question is not when are you going to stop, or when are you going to not believe her anymore that you're going to have sex with her again. The question that Essie asked was strictly about how far in the future do they not have to go for you to stop believing, for you to not believe it that they went
Same
at
thing
all.
as time frame.
No,
How many
no. Hold on.
How many pledges of presidents?
The question,
Let's do it that way.
That's fine.
The question was about disbelieving the Apollo missions, the missions that already happened, right?
No. I said no.
Doesn't answer the question.
That's not what I said. No, I said questioning it. That was my direct question. How long would it start? You start to question it. Yeah.
Talking about the Apollo mission.
No, I'm talking about their ability to go to the moon.
Like
I never once mentioned the Apollo missions.
Like the 6 times they went?
Yeah, but the Apollo missions.
That's all in your brain. My question is, they said they're going to go back again, right? From the 80s. They haven't went back. The question is, how long would it take, after how many more presidents, after how many more years, for you to question that they can go to the moon again?
What are you gonna do when they actually go back though? Like then what's gonna be the
they won't
excuse?
They won't.
They're not
That's why
going
I've been waiting for
never
in the 80s, bro.
So they're not doing anything right now to go back, right?
They're not going.
They
back.
don't even have a spacesuit.
Okay.
They don't even have a spacesuit, bro.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, look into it.
Let me answer that. I think they're gonna go back and
sleeping with you. Accept it.
But why? Listen, why would you question somebody's ability to sleep with you if they ever slept with you if they've already slept with you? It doesn't matter if they never sleep with you again. If you've already had sex with her,
they keep telling you they're going
to.
It's not a question.
You didn't.
You can't prove it.
Yeah, but you could just go and sleep. Like you can't sleep with anyone else.
You just said you slept
You
with her,
got
but we
drunk
don't
at one
believe
time,
you.
and she lied and said that you guys banged, but it never actually
Like
happened.
sex. Like there's no
Exactly.
You were
sex.
just blackout drunk.
Then you'd have to say that sex doesn't exist.
She slept with you, but the kid looks like the mailman.
Fantasies, gentlemen.
Try another analogy.
Purposely missing the point. It's ridiculous.
They do it on purpose. They
I
know.
don't
No,
understand.
dude, it's really quite simple, dude. If we never won again, I would question our ability to be competent enough to go again. That's true. I wouldn't question. Did we
go
ever
again.
win?
He said to go again.
I wouldn't question. Yeah, hold on. Because this time maybe I'll be clear. I would not question our ability to already have gone. That wouldn't be put in question.
Bitch ass move, Coach O. And you fucking know it, dude. That's some
bitch move, dude. What are you talking about? I just told you.
Only time
technology increases in the next 1,000 years.
Question our ability in the future.
Technology increases 1,000-fold in the next 1,000 years, and you're not gonna, and we still don't go back to the moon or any other.
This is like, hey guys, this is like we can't build the pyramids.
Come on, man.
We cannot build the pyramids again. Oh, dude.
Does that mean they were never built?
I'm saying it's stupid to say that you could never build the pyramids again. Of course you can fucking build them again.
But that was the question, Don. So that's why we're addressing the question that was asked. Yeah.
Kosho, that was a cop-out to say I would question our ability to go again.
Don, that was the question that was asked, Don.
I don't care.
And besides, it's a false analogy to compare the pyramids to the moon landing, because the pyramids actually exist. We can actually visit them, touch them, stuff like that. Whereas the moon landings is just a story you have to believe.
Yes.
No, it's a story you have to
One of those
deny.
things happened on film, and the other thing happened sometime in the past.
Yeah, it's a story you have to deny.
Ain't no damn film and nothing approaching the moon, man. Get the fuck
It happened on film. What are you talking about?
There's footage of the Saturn V on the way to the moon, halfway there.
Zoom me in. Zoom me in from the Earth, and I'll believe it. Show me a on the Earth telescope, somebody's hands on the Earth, looking up in the sky and showing some approach the moon.
Don't ask for that, because if we show you that, you still deny it.
Don't
You're
ask for evidence.
Fuck you, man. Don't tell me what
You are asking for evidence.
Show me a smoke trail, a sparkler fucking trail, going to the moon. We know that y'all. I mean, come on, dude. Let's go.
Don't ask for it because you're denying anyway.
Yeah. Because I don't love science, and I'm not a loyal American.
Well then.
Yeah, there's an amateur footage of it halfway there. So I pull it up.
Whip it out.
There's no way it's expensive to go to the moon. The fucking Dragon capsule can make it to the moon, bro.
Really?
Really.
You should give them the plans.
It ain't gonna land.
You'll give Elon Musk the plans, man.
Artemis hasn't been doing anything. They've been doing nothing with the Artemis program. Absolutely nothing.
You mean Iron Man can build a rocket to go to the moon and the United States government can't?
That's
They
correct.
they should be able to get there easy.
Easy, sweatless.
I heard
It shouldn't even be hard.
Get paid that much.
Like I said, it took 4.5% of our entire budget to do this in the 70s. Right?
I know how they get rid of a lot of
and NASA was entirely directed in those missions. Whereas
You said it would cost. You said it would take $30 billion to build a Saturn V rocket today. What percentage of our budget is $30 billion?
No, the budget that they get completely in 1 year is $30 billion. And if you correct for inflation, that's how much the Saturn.
So how is Iron Man going to do it with the big heavy? How is Iron Man going to do it with the big heavy?
And let me give Kosho the true economic logic here, Kosho. When you say the number from the 70s, the 5-7 billion or whatever, the 5% or whatever percent of our national budget, you need to tell us how much percent of the currency that is in play that was. And now compare the percent of the total currency, because we have a nation, we have our total currency, right? Not the government. How much of our whole team's currency went to be spent on that? See, that's what you don't understand, bro. No, man. Fuck this.
That's the budget that the
put up bullshit stats that fucking you try to make baby little anecdotal points that aren't even deep enough to fucking address the situation, dude.
You want to compare it to the total amount of dollars in? What are you talking about, dude?
Absolutely.
That makes no sense.
It's ridiculous, dude.
No, it isn't.
The entire argument of the moon landings is just rest on the fact that you guys don't believe what the images you see. That's it.
You want to talk about those images?
Why would we? Have you seen those images?
How much percentage of our money does the government take, Kosho? How much did they take back then? That's what you're not thinking about, Kosho. You're acting like it's a lot or it's a little bit of money or how expensive it is. You need to talk about the relative cost, sir, and you don't even give a fuck to glance at it.
Because that's what's called not the relevant cost. Okay, it's not relevant to compare that to the amount of dollars in what do you call it?
Whatever. Can't even think about it.
I just find it odd how we simply haven't gone back because it's too expensive.
It's not the only reason.
It costs too much money. We can't do it. Like, dude, if you listen to the way they were talking in like 1970, we were supposed to have hotels there.
And it's not like they haven't been. Wow, yeah, they haven't been working towards going back at all, haven't they?
I know how they could shave off a major cost if they just flew straight up.
Yeah, that would not shave off their cost at all.
That shows how much you know about physics. Good job.
That would be how they waste the mission. It actually was one of the most clever strategies that they.
Yeah, clever.
Because it was. Yeah, one of them, Braun, thought it'd be impossible.
You fly longer. You fly farther. You have to have a heavier payload.
No, you can't fly. You can't fly longer with a heavier payload. because you can't get off the ground.
You're
because
taking the longer route. You're taking the longer route.
That's not how. See? He doesn't understand.
You don't spend energy when you're in orbit.
You're not in orbit yet.
How would you get into orbit around a planet?
You fly straight up.
Right, and then what?
Okay, hold on. No. Hold on. Listen.
I said orbit. I didn't say this.
Okay, listen. Hold on. I don't know if I'm breaking up or not. Okay, but so that guy who laughed, right?
We all did.
Why? Okay, yeah. Okay, so no, I'm saying the guy who laughed, right?
Me.
Why did you laugh? Why did you laugh?
Because you said fly straight up.
Okay, don't tell me what I did, right? I didn't ask you what I fucking did. Why did you laugh?
Because it was hilarious. Because you think that's how you go into orbit around a planet.
No, these
guys. Okay, no. We're having a conversation right now. We're having a conversation right now, right? So, why is that hilarious?
Because that shows how much you know about physics.
Okay, you're still making me ask more. Okay, listen.
You spend a lot of energy.
Hold on, stop talking, right? Yeah. I'm having a conversation with this guy. Stop, please.
You're not having a conversation with him.
Okay, Kosho, shut up. I'm having a conversation with this guy.
He thinks it's going to go somewhere. Go ahead, man.
Okay, no. You realize that your non-answers continually make me ask the same question again and again and again.
Correct.
Because you have not answered my question. Why is it funny to suggest to simply go straight up is the best way to get there?
Are you ready for my answer? Because you can't go straight up and then orbit a planet.
Why not?
Why? Because
why not?
You're just going. Is that what's an orbit? What is an orbit?
No, that's the wrong take, bro. You can go straight up and go into orbit if it was real.
You're not supposed to answer this. Travis is going to answer this. What is an orbit, Travis?
An orbit? Okay, this is a red herring right now. Okay.
Answer the question.
No,
Travis.
No, it's a red herring.
Yours. No, it's not.
No,
it's not a red herring, Travis.
Okay. It's
a
red herring.
You could go straight up and then go 90 degrees and start
orbiting.
Let
me ask it a different way. If the Earth was round, how would you get into orbit around the planet?
Again,
you go straight away from it. You go away from it.
Angle the plane at 90 degrees and thrust sideways and orbit.
Okay, look, it's no different than having an airplane on the. Okay, hold on. I'm going to answer. I'm going to give you an answer. It's no different than being on the ground in an airplane, right? You're not flying. You've got to go straight ahead and get enough speed and then get up in the air. So once you're in the air, you can turn left, you can turn right, you can ascend, you can descend. So all you got to do is go straight up, and once you get out into the area where the orbit can take place, you go left, you go right, no problem.
Orbit could take place 10 feet off the ground.
What's that, B-Ball?
What would be an easier way to do it?
I can't think of one. I can't think of one because going straight up is the most direct route.
It wouldn't even happen. Percentage was answering it correctly.
I don't know why you guys are interrupting. I'm having a conversation with B-Ball. B-Ball, you gotta come back to that?
Dude. When percentage answered, you didn't fucking cry like a little girl.
Kosho, why are you interrupting?
I just answered your question. I just answered your question.
Kosho, why
I just
are you
answered your
interrupting?
question, Left Lane.
Please don't
I'm actually
interrupt.
responding to what percentage said.
Please don't interrupt,
It doesn't matter. You're not interrupting anybody.
Kosho.
Relax, man. It's not just,
Okay, percentage. Are you a mod?
Yeah, percentage spoke up and you didn't say anything.
Okay, I'm having a conversation with B-Ball.
We're all having a conversation.
Go ahead, man.
Okay.
Be respectful.
No, we're not.
Get in.
No, we're not.
Do you have a question?
You're not having a
B-Ball?
conversation. You're interrogating him.
I'm simply saying percentage actually said it correctly because that is a possible way to go straight up and still get into orbit. However, nobody would ever do that because it would be too costly and probably not end up. You probably by the time you got up there, you wouldn't have the energy to get into orbit.
That's basically what B-Ball was saying.
Okay, how do you know?
A better way. Go ahead, Travis.
Incorrect.
How do you know it would be too costly?
You'd spend all the energy going in the wrong direction.
You're flying farther by taking a circular path around the Earth. If you fly in a circular path around the Earth, you're flying farther than you would be if you went straight up.
Yeah, but you happen to be going in the right direction. You happen to be going in the right direction, so it works out.
If you honestly
Right
think that that's a good way to
direction.
orbit a planet,
Right direction.
that's I don't know what to say.
Now you're begging the question of another issue again.
Jesus, man.
You're using the word orbit.
But at least you'll say that they were right at the end of it on Travis. At least after you get glitched out, you'll say that they were right? Probably.
The fastest.
But see, y'all keep fucking with the glitch ass dude, right? Right.
Oh, hold on. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Hello? You just addressed me. What are you talking about?
I think it's possible.
I'm talking about how you very loudly and confidently and muting people along the way will say shit that you have to then back down with 30 minutes later and say that you're glitched about
when
it.
Did
earlier today? Earlier today, for example. Yeah. Pulling your arms.
Say it again.
Right.
Say it again. Earlier today.
Right. Bye, Travis.
Say it again. Okay, yeah. Say it again. Earlier today. Hold on. Kosho, shut up. Kosho, shut up.
It doesn't sound like that's going
anywhere, Travis, come on, man.
Yo, percentage. Take a chill pill, man. Okay, look.
Chill.
I didn't take anything back, man. I didn't take anything back. I said that I had to think about it because it was stretching my mind.
Well, you can go ahead and take it back now. Go ahead and take it back now, then.
I'm not taking anything back.
Well, remain the only idiot in the room, then, buddy.
Hey, come on, man.
Quickest way into space,
like 30 minutes
straight
ago.
up. Quickest way into orbit, not straight up.
Well, actually, the destination, if you go straight up, is actually going to be on the ground 9 times out of 10, unless you have some.
What?
Yeah, that's the direction you're actually going. Because if you go up, if you go straight up, the gravitational attraction hasn't gone away. You're going in the direction where if you go fast enough that way, then you have a chance of getting away. You have to reach 25,000 miles per hour, though. So if you don't run out of fuel before you do that, then you might be able to escape. But if you don't do that, then once you run out of fuel, you're going to start going back in the direction you came, which is back on the surface of the Earth.
I don't get it.
The Earth is spinning. Are you actually going straight up?
I mean, if you do actually go straight up, then yeah.
Then you have to be kind of going, like angling it against the spin to go straight up. Then.
Well, I mean, you would. It wouldn't make a difference. Yeah.
So you're really going.
If you might land at a different spot on Earth, but you'd still be, you'd have
to fight the rotation to stay straight.
No, you don't. If you left the Earth going straight up, and you didn't change your which way you were pointed, then the Earth will rotate beneath you. And then you might be you might land in a different spot, but your trajectory is still.
No, but what about the effect of gravity as you go up? Doesn't it get weaker?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you were going fast enough that you could reach escape velocity, then yeah. But you'd have to reach that speed.
No, I'm not even saying you're reaching escape velocity. Yeah, I'm saying as you go up, gravity is weaker. So the effect of the gravity on you is going to be less than the Earth, and the spin would be less as well.
Yeah, but the amount that it gets weaker by is it's not enough to really by the ISS it's only 90. It's already 90%, but it's still 90% of what it is here. But still, even trying to get to the ISS in that amount of time. Actually, intercontinental ballistic missile. Okay, an ICBM can almost get as high as the ISS. So, that is true. But still, to actually get to escape velocity going straight up is immensely difficult.
Why?
They're not trying to orbit either. An ICBM.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I don't understand how going straight up would cost more fuel when you're going through less atmosphere. By going straight up, the higher every time you go up, it gets thinner and thinner. Why would you cut through the thick part?
An ICBM
because you're trying to go
orbit.
Fine.
You're trying to orbit.
Well, guys, make some from Jeremy because his mic's shit.
This makes me think you don't know what orbit is.
You
can only orbit east to west.
The first
you can't orbit
second or
north
two
south.
are cutting out, like always. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can orbit north south. Jeremy, go.
You're about to say something about ICBMs. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, the ICBM does it go straight up and then come back down?
Yeah,
and let the Earth rotate under it. So how far up?
No. Go ahead,
What's
man.
up?
It does. It's not just letting the Earth rotate beneath it, though. It's going in a short-lived orbit, basically. Like it goes to where it needs to go, but it's not like waiting for the Earth to rotate beneath it or anything like that.
So the
It
Earth
goes in a
doesn't rotate under it.
parabolic
It
trajectory.
does.
Well, how high up do you got to get?
It has a controlled trajectory.
How high up do you got to get to where the Earth just starts turning underneath you?
Strange
0.1
question,
centimeter.
If you don't, dude, you have a conservation of momentum. So if you leave Earth and you don't lose that momentum by whatever means, then you're not going to lose that momentum ever.
So
you
I
have
could
to
go,
Jeremy. You have to go to the Lagrange point between the sun and the moon. I mean, the sun and the Earth.
I could go up, and I'd constantly be rotating with Earth, no matter how high I go. If I go a light year away, I'm still going to be rotating with Earth.
If you had the eastward velocity that you had on Earth and you never did anything in that direction to undo that, then there's no reason for you to lose that momentum in that direction.
Well, there is, because gravity gets weaker again. So he's asking,
will it be in
how high do you have to be for gravity to be weak enough that you'll see the Earth rotating quicker than, you'll notice that it's rotating.
Well, any distance off the ground.
Hold on. Will it be angular momentum or linear?
Will
I be going in a circle, or will it just shoot me off into a straight path?
Any distance off the ground, the Earth's already going to be rotating at a different rate than you. And Jeremy, yeah, if the eastward velocity that you have, or the eastward momentum that you have, it's linear.
Linear, so I just shoot me off in a straight line path and not have me do an orbit around the whole thing.
It's not shooting you off. If you have to think of it as like a force diagram. You have a force diagram and you have a rocket.
Start thinking
you have
of
the
this
force
room
that's
as
going in the downward
Earth
direction.
Awakening room, because it's all about the globe, baby.
You have the force going in the downward direction, adding momentum in the upward direction, and you have the eastward momentum that you never got rid of. And so, in order to cancel that out, you have to at some point get rid of it.
So it's not just like that, because
hold on.
the eastward gets weaker as you go up.
But hold on, let me answer the percentage, because I thought I said a second ago. The conservation momentum isn't maintained because of gravity; it's just maintained.
So,
all right, is my earbud better now?
Yes.
Yep. Better, yeah.
Kosho, so if you fly to Mars,
Yep.
stop
I'm
spinning. So if you fly
gonna open it up because I've been answering the question, but Jeremy was going to say something too.
You said technically, as soon as you leave Earth, the Earth is spinning under you, right?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
technically it's negligible. I imagine you're not going to notice it until, how high do you have to be to notice it?
Well, if you were 4,000 miles high, by that point, the Earth beneath you would be spinning twice as fast as, you would need, you need to be twice as fast, so you'd be twice as slow as you were on the surface.
Yeah,
in reference to the surface.
So there's your answer, Jeremy. You have to be 4,000 miles high.
No, he said you never lose momentum, he said.
You're never going to lose that momentum.
So Earth would never spin beneath you, so you float to Mars.
You're contradicting yourself, Coach.
Hey, listen, check this out, dude. If you're on the surface, the Earth's going at 10,000 miles per hour, or whatever, at the equator. And once you go up in the air, in order to maintain that same spot on the ground above the Earth, you need to be going faster and faster as you get higher up. If you're not going faster and faster eastward, and you keep that same eastward speed, then you're not going to be keeping up with the Earth anymore.
Except for airplanes and shit.
Wait. What? So a hot air balloon going up should have the Earth moving out from underneath it.
Yeah, hot air balloons experience Coriolis, and it's completely negligible because it's a hot air balloon, dude.
No. You just said.
How's a hot air balloon experiencing
hold on,
Coriolis
please,
when it's not traveling north or south?
Hold on. If you just said if something leaves the Earth, it has to increase its speed at the higher it goes. Hot air balloons don't do that.
Exactly. But what do they do?
So the Earth would go away from the hot air balloon.
Yeah, and it does at a rate that's so negligible. The wind is obviously doing more to it than the fucking Coriolis, dude. So it's not going to be noticed.
Coriolis when you want.
Well, it's not negligible. It's 15 degrees per hour.
Yeah,
It's 15 degrees per hour. That means if you have a drone
at
hovering,
35,000 feet, the difference is only about a mile an hour.
Yeah, if you count as Coriolis,
the difference
the right
is
word
tiny.
to use?
Do the math. You can do the math yourself. Figure it out. Figure out how much bigger the diameter of the circumference is at 35,000
I don't think
feet.
Coriolis is the right word to use.
And you'll find out that the change in speed is really very negligible. It's just a little over a mile an hour.
Yeah, again, now your entire model is built on math.
Or you can just say
no.
reality,
No.
Travis, and the fact that you don't understand math is not my problem. That's yours.
You guys,
Hey, listen, hey, Blue, I have not attacked you since you've been here in audio, so there's no reason. There's no reason to attack my intelligence, Blue. Okay.
I didn't attack
your intelligence.
Yes, you did. Yes,
No,
you did.
Commented on what you're demonstrating.
Yeah, Travis doesn't attack
Left
anybody.
lane. As a mod, you don't need to defend Blue, but if Travis feels like
he just told
Oh, I'm not defending Blue. I'm just commenting on what I
you
hear.
piped up as soon as Blue came in. Yeah.
Let's not attack people by saying they don't understand math or they don't understand this or understand that. All right.
Well, then that's not really for them for using it. Yeah.
And you piped up as soon as you heard Blue's voice too.
Well, point out if he doesn't understand the math. Point out where he doesn't understand about it.
Why is Coriolis the right word to use for this? For the
he's completely dismissing
the gravitational attraction is weaker as you go up.
No, but it has nothing to do with gravity.
What do you mean? Gravity is weaker as you go up, and that's why
nothing to do with gravity.
You'll be kind of carried less, right?
No. Yeah, the balloon it's just like Blue said. Like the Coriolis is just any object that's moving in reference to a rotating frame. So because even in elevation, and so because there's a difference in tangential velocity as you raise elevation, as Blue said, 30,000 feet, it's only 1 mile per hour difference. So that would add up over time if you were stationary over the Earth. But if you're in a balloon, you're not stationary over the Earth. Your movements are dictated by the winds, which are going to be more than 1 mile per hour most of the time.
Well, you're referencing Blue a lot. Is he what is he?
Yeah, did you check those numbers? Or you just going right
Astrophysicist or aerospace engineer? I don't get why you're referencing Blue just because he said it. Oh, you think he's an engineer that built what?
Is he not?
So he's an aerospace engineer, B-ball? So
I mean, it's mathematics.
You're gonna wank.
He just said it. You can go through the mathematics if you want to.
Yeah. Okay. So he knows the reference here? Y'all are so full of shit and it's coming out. The last 2 weeks has been great. Carry on. Carry on. Keep referencing Blue, who's not an aerospace engineer, who's not an astrophysicist, who's just an old man on the internet, basically.
Right. He's probably done a lot more than you.
Yeah. Okay, so you know that how?
Wait a minute. That's an ad hom, Rakia.
That's a fact.
He's probably done more than
Why are you attacking me, Rakia? I didn't attack you.
I'm not attacking you.
What are you doing calling me an old man on the internet? What is that bullshit all about?
Rakia, to be fair,
are you an old man on the internet?
If you're skeptical of his math, then you should ask.
I'm an old man on the internet.
Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm an old man on the internet, and Travis is the guy that didn't understand the math I was quoting to him. What's the damn difference, buddy? I got my ass chewed. I'm chewing yours.
You didn't describe math to him.
Yeah, you did not prove that I didn't understand anything. All you did was come in and libel my intelligence.
Let me add old triggered man on the internet now, since that's a fact.
Yep.
I mean, his generation built the internet.
How about you actually go through the math?
Yeah, but don't let me get to you, Blue.
Or just post the math, and that's all he was saying was post the math. Why are you quoting him as gospel?
The math is fairly simple. The math is fairly simple. You know how to multiply 2 times pi times whatever the radius is, and then divide that by 24.
Who just muted me, please?
That's going to give you the miles per hour and the tangential speed of miles per hour.
There you go. I'd like to know who muted me and unmuted me. Your robot and Howard.
Because you were continuing with your ad hoc.
So you muted me, Howard?
You want the math? I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Let's assume the Earth's radius.
Let Howard finish why he muted me, since he's someone who never mutes anyone.
How about we just attack the source, Rakia?
That's what I think.
Your point
in
addressing
I am attacking
their
the
appeal
source,
to authority.
Howard. A biased mod here. Yeah.
So your issue is them citing Blue as like their source, as if he's an astrophysicist or something like that, because you doubted the math. He's going to provide the math now.
You don't need. Okay.
Thank you.
You really don't need to be an astrophysicist. Assume that let's make the numbers easy. The Earth's diameter is 8,000 miles. I know it really isn't, but let's just call the diameter 8,000 miles. Multiply that times pi, and the circumference is 25,132 miles.
Okay.
Go to 35,000 feet. That's about 7 miles. That means you got to add 14 miles to the diameter. 8,014 miles times pi is 25,176 miles. That is a